We're on. We're live. We're here. We're together. Thank you for coming. Mary! Oh my gosh, what a blessing. See, old friends and Felice. Okay. It's on. So, okay. Yeah. Thank you, David. I want to welcome everybody to our Unity Church of Truth of Pomona Valley is what we are calling ourselves now, since we have our new location in Claremont, which is a part of Pomona Valley. This is August 10th already, and we are celebrating many forms of creativity this month. So, and we're getting creative about our website as well, so I invite you to notice it, to look at it. Although we have lost our new marketing person, so if anybody knows of a marketing person that might be good with technology, that would be helpful. Let us start with our song, Weave, which Julie Edwards-Matanga made such gorgeous slides for many, many years ago.
It's also in your book on page 212, which it says up there. But
yes, it's in our Unity Songbook 212. If anybody wants to lead the singing, come up here and do it. Feel free. Yeah, it's very hot in here. The air is on?
yeah, it's on.
Right here, I'm getting the air blowing right at me.
Mine's right here.
You want me to turn the back one on also?
Yeah.
The back one's on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there were two systems.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big, big system.
Maybe you should go on here.
Are you ready?
We are ready. Let's go. Let us pray. I invite you to let my words be your words as you allow your breath to draw you deep within yourself. I turn within to the image of God within me. I have been created in God's image and likeness, and yet it is often hidden from me. When I want to create something, I can ask to be guided. I open to the divine wisdom within me and I listen. I may hear in many ways the voice of Spirit. It may come as a still, small voice, even as a whisper, or a loud boom. It may come as an image, clear or fading. I may feel it as a vibration that takes shape or has color. Or I may understand wisdom as a knowing through my whole being or any part of my being. It may come as a song or a design, as play or humor or work. It may come as insight or as knowledge. As I sit in the silence of my inner sanctum, I pay attention to all that comes to me there. At the end of my meditation, I write down what I have noticed. And if there is something to act on, if there is direction or guidance, I take appropriate action. I am a channel for Spirit to work and play and be in this world. And the more I open to it, the more fully I enjoy it. And so it is. Amen. Let us sing the Lord's Prayer. A few announcements today. As always, we are having lunch today, and our room. And I hope you'll join us for that. Before we go into our banner making class, we have our new YouTube, which, David, you put this on Facebook, right? And it's on there for a short time, and I don't know how long, maybe 2 days? How many? 1 month. Okay, it's on Facebook for a month, and then it disappears. And so, but David has created our YouTube channel, and they are being stored there for quite a long time. So if you want to share this with anybody, we're learning, and things, life is impermanence, as our Buddhist friends say. So we get to change things all the time. That's part of the digital challenge, isn't it? Changing things all the time. So we are having our spiritual banner making. You can look around the room and you can see that there's many different kinds of banners, and they're used for many different things, and it's a fun process because we get to get out of the way and let Spirit do it through us. And we get to learn and trust in listening to Spirit and then taking action, which is something that this is a process that helps us get used to that, and then we can just do that in our daily life. So if you're interested in staying, I hope you will. This week, and today begins the ninth annual Interfaith Awareness Week, and I got an email from my friend Ruth Brody Sharon. I'm going to be speaking about her later in my sermon. And she is interviewing Rabbi David Rosen, who is in Jerusalem at this time. And he's been an interfaith rabbi for a very long time. He's been knighted by the Queen and commended by the Pope, and has all kinds of awards for his work. So it should be very interesting to hear if you have a chance to get on that, and I can, if you want me to send that to you, I can send it, or you can take a picture of it. But that is happening this week. We have our Monday book study tomorrow, and then Tuesday, Marianne and I are taking our character champion kid puppets to 2 of them, I think, right, Marianne?
Oh, I'm gonna bring them all.
Are you gonna bring them all? Okay, I like it when we bring them all, the whole family, the whole darn family, to a Tri-City residence for families to learn some of the values of self-care and kindness to ourselves and kindness to others. So that should be good. Wednesday we have our prayer and meditation back at our regular 6:30 to 7:30 time. Next Tuesday, the 19th of August, I will be presenting at the Upland Interfaith about evolving into higher spiritual energies. We did the work with Spiral Dynamics the first 3 months of this year, and some of those higher energies are very interesting, and people at the Upland Interfaith Council wanted to know about that. So they asked me to speak on that. Well, I kind of volunteered, and then they asked me. So, and Compassionate Pomona meeting, the next one is on August 21st. I had a meeting with Mayor Tim this week, and I asked him if he would come and talk to our Compassionate Pomona friends, and he is coming. So it's on Zoom, so anybody that's interested in hearing what our mayor has to say about kind of what's going on in our city, feel free to join us. And then at the end of the month, since we're doing all this creativity, which we've done for years in August, that's been kind of a theme we chose, Jennifer Derry is going to be sharing her oracle cards that she got published before I did. Yay, Jennifer. It's a big deal. And she's going to share the cards that she wrote, the book that she wrote about that goes with the cards. And she will be speaking on Sunday morning with me, and then she will be doing the class in the afternoon. And there is a fee to buy the books and the cards and book, and also for having the class. We are collecting non-perishable foods, and then Ruth later is taking them to the UCC church here in Claremont. I also found myself buying school lunch backpacks and lunch boxes. the lunch boxes are hard to find anyway. I have had trouble finding them. If you find them and they're not expensive, I invite you to, I hope you'll pick them up, because our schools can provide a lot of things for the kids, but they cannot provide those things. So we will find a way to get them to those places that they're needed. And
So, Jan, are we gonna put another box in the back?
I don't know. What do you think we
I
should?
think we need a separate box for school supplies,
Okay,
so we'll work on that this week.
great. Thank you.
Starts
You know,
on Tuesday in Pomona.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
yes,
Yeah, vacation's over.
yes, yes. It is starting. So so that's good. And I have a school. The schools in Pomona accept them all year long. I mean, they, you know, and you can get some at like Dollar Tree, for very inexpensive. But then you can also the bigger ones for the older kids.
And somebody told me that Staples is having a sale.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I ended up paying about 20 for the cheapest ones I could find at Ross. So, yeah, but these families, you know, our families, they just can't, many of them cannot afford that. So, thank you, and it's so wonderful to have the ministers here from Claremont Center for Spiritual Living working with us and us with them on the many things that are happening. So let us say the affirmation that is on the screen and together, and then Liz will pass our donation basket together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all I am, all I give, all I do, and all that I receive. And so it is. Jackie, will you make your way up here for the daily word? Thank you, Liz. We appreciate your faithfulness, Liz. Thank you. Okay.
Like the names you got.
Yes. When you think about who is resilient, those are names that came up for me. So.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The word for today is resilient. Courageous and strong, I am resilient. You want to say that with me? Courageous and strong, I am resilient. Everyone who gets knocked down from time to time has the choice whether to give up or get up. Getting up and gathering the strength and desire to try again is resilience. Spiritual living helps me build it. Claiming divine ideas in prayer, engaging the power of my imagination to envision my success, and using my wisdom and will to discern the best way forward and choose it, all help me be resilient in the face of defeat or discouragement. Through the power of the Christ within, I am willing to keep trying until I succeed. I understand setbacks happen to everyone. I do not let them deter me or take a failed effort personally. I am strong and capable of doing what I set my mind to. I am resilient. And from 1 Corinthians 16:13, keep alert, stand firm in your faith, be courageous, be strong.
Thank you, Jackie. Do any of you know this woman, Jessica Cox? Have you seen her? I've been following her for at least 4 years, and she's in Tucson, Arizona. She was born without arms. She came to my attention when she learned to fly an airplane. She eats with her feet, she draws with her feet. She just graduated, I think, from Well, I saw her when she graduated from high school, and now she's graduated from college. They have pictures of her doing, I mean, she doesn't let that stop her, that she doesn't have arms. She learns to use her feet for everything except she can't make a ponytail.
Well, Helen Keller did too.
Yes,
That didn't
absolutely.
stop her.
Helen Keller, who couldn't see and couldn't hear,
Yeah.
blind and deaf, and yet she spoke to people
She
all
did.
over the world. So we are amazing, you know. God works through us in amazing ways. The thing is, we can't give up on ourselves, right? So this is a song that we haven't sung for quite a while, and it's my dedication. And again, Julie made the wonderful slides. Julie, are you okay?
Okay.
Are you ready? And will you be able to sing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think we need one voice that can be heard that's on key.
Okay.
That's not me.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes. So beautiful. And the artistry of Julie, not only the playing, but her artistry in putting these slides together is quite amazing to me. There's nothing like what I do. I do my best, but she goes much deeper. So, today, we are talking about downloading creativity by inner listening and action. And we all have that power, don't we? Again, I remind you that our unity messages, our guides, what we share with each other, what I share are my thoughts and ideas from other people. It doesn't make them right. It doesn't make them right for you. So you take what works for you and leave the rest. We try not to tell you what to believe, but we certainly share sometimes what we believe and what works for us. So before I get into the cartoon, I found a story, because that's a whole idea of creativity and is about inner listening, and that inner listening is something that we almost need for creativity, but it's also, the creativity is something that you need to live life fully. They go together like a figure eight, right? So I found this story about a young man who woke up in the middle of the night, and he was a good sleeper, so he wasn't used to waking up in the night. And on his mind, in this nudge, he just felt like, and he heard this little whisper within, call your mother. It was 2:00 in the morning, and he knew his mother, and he, will she be sound asleep now? You ever have a spirit tell you something and you argue with it? Yeah, me too, all the time. And so, and when you listen, usually things work out better than when you don't. So he wrestled with this. It's like, well, what would she think if I called her at 2:00 in the morning? What would I tell her? Well, I just woke up and felt the need to call you. And so he struggled with this, but he kept this inner voice, this nudge to call her, just kept on being there. So he finally decided, no, I'll just pull my covers over my head. Well, guess what? God talks to us with our covers under the covers too. So he still kept getting that nudge and this voice that just call. So he got up, the phone was right there by the bed. He dialed the number and he got the ring. And on the 4th ring, his mom answered, and she said, what's wrong? And he said, nothing is wrong. I don't know why I called, I just wanted to call to say hello. And there was silence. And then he could hear his mom burst into tears. And she whispered to him, I was just lying here praying, asking God if someone still cared. She said, I've been feeling really alone lately. Like I could disappear and nobody would know the difference. I prayed, God, if you're still listening, let somebody call me. Anybody. Just let me know that I'm not invisible. And her son whispered to her, God heard you. Divine timing at 2 a.m. in the morning. They stayed on the phone for 45 minutes. They talked more deeply than they had ever talked to each other before. They laughed, they cried, they loved. When they hung up, it had felt like such a sacred time together to the son. And it was that action on that nudge, that spiritual nudge, that allowed their relationship to open up more freely. Later, the mom said, that call reminded me that God really does see me. Not just in the big stuff, but in the dark, quiet moments as well. And for the young man, his lesson was obedience. To not only listen, to not only hear, but then to follow through with action. no matter what somebody might think, right? Because he was so worried. He was worried his mom might yell at him, might think he was crazy, you know. Well, God is in the mix of all of that. How many of you had experiences where you've been asked by Spirit to do something that didn't make any sense to you? Probably most of us, yeah. And do you follow through? Yeah, Jackie says no. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, you know. But what happens when we don't?
We regret it.
We regret it. We wonder what was missed and who might it be missed for, not only for ourselves, but for the person we're supposed to reach out to, right? Yeah. For the people, other people involved in this. I found this cartoon, and it's this man, and he's down sitting against a wall, it looks like, and he says, "I'm okay. This is just how I get creative." Sometimes we have to go into a different state, not our busy active, to download and even hear what Spirit's trying to tell us that is ours to do or be. And sometimes, and that's why this story, you know, we started with, he was asleep and he was awakened because he was open, receptive, and he got the download to call. There's some stories in the Bible, and I'm just going to share one of them. The story of Samuel and Eli. Do you remember that story from the Old Testament? So, and I will just read this. It is Samuel 1:3. Now this boy Samuel was ministering to the Lord under Eli. The word of the Lord was rare in those days. Visions were not widespread. And at that time, Eli he was training him. Eli was like the priest, and Samuel was the young boy that the family had delivered to the temple to raise the boy. And Eli's eyesight had begun to grow so dim that he could not see, and he was lying down in his room. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the temple of the Lord where the ark of God was. And then the Lord called, "Samuel, Samuel." And he said, "Here I am." And he ran to Eli and he said, "Here I am, for you called me." But Eli said, "I did not call. Go lie down again." So Samuel went to lie down again. And again the Lord called, "Samuel." And Samuel got up and again went to Eli. And he said, "Here I am, for you called me." And he said, "I didn't call you, my son. Lie down again." Now Samuel did not know that the Lord and the word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him. And so the Lord called Samuel a third time. And he got up and he went to Eli and he said, "Here I am, for you called me." Then Eli, the priest, the teacher, said to him, "Go lie down, and if he calls you, you should say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" So Samuel went to lie down once more in his place. And now the Lord came and stood there, calling as before, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." We are all channels for the divine. We are all servants of the divine, right? And sometimes it takes us probably many lifetimes to begin to understand that. But at some point on the spiritual path, and I think we're all here because we're spiritual seekers, we begin to see that God and I are one, right? That whatever we call it, the Christ within, the Buddha nature within, the Atman within, the beloved within, that all of that is who we are. And is God within us, that has wisdom to direct us. I don't know about you, but I need direction, spiritual direction, every single day. Does anybody else need spiritual direction every single day? Okay. Almost minute by minute, right? It's like, what is mine to do now, God? And that's my question throughout the day when I use my wisdom. And then I listen. Because it is that downloading the wisdom of the Spirit within us that is unique. It's one God, but Spirit comes through us all each differently, right? Uniquely. So it's so important that we learn and understand the essence, that our essence is spiritual essence. So from the book of Psalms, I have said you are gods. You are all sons of the Most High. Have you heard that? Ye are gods. You are gods. Do you think that's true? Yeah. And that's one of the differences in New Thought and some of the other traditions, is that we work on getting that, understanding that. Jesus said, "Is it not written in your law, I have said you are gods?" And this is from John 10:34. So both the Old Testament and the New Testament, the Jewish Testament and the Christian, both are telling us about our spiritual nature. Unity minister and one of my mentors that I was able to really connect with quite a bit at the conference this June in Kansas City is Jim Rosemergy. And he writes in his book, A Recent Revelation, "Not for one moment can you flee from your creative nature. Your thoughts are creative power. Even the distant stars feel the power of your mind." That's who we are, created in the likeness and the image of God. We can't get away from it, right? So we have to learn how to use it and how to use it for the good rather than for the negative, right? I mean, we can think all kinds of terrible things and create a mess in our lives or in the world. But we need to, that's why the values thing that we're doing with the school district that Mary Ann and I are doing is so important, because not so many people are going to church these days. Our youth do not have the values that we grew up with. And so we need to have values there for kids to use their power in a positive way. And that is to lift us all into a higher vibration of consciousness. Unity, another one of my mentors, Robert Brummett, a Unity minister, writes, "Crises are evolutionary drivers which stimulate astounding design innovation. The innovation now needed is to understand and cooperate with the processes that create us." So we are supposed to really know who we are as spiritual beings and learn to work with that essence that is within us. I found, I'm talking about downloading, and that's obviously a computer term, right? But it's also a spiritual term. And I found a website that talks about spiritual downloading. And one of the things that it says is, it defines spiritual downloads. Downloads in spirituality refer to spontaneous moments of insight or clarity that provide guidance and understanding in various aspects of life. It's that guidance we pray for, right? There's different types of downloads, they say. There's 4 main types: intuitive, around decision making and clarity; emotional, insights into our feelings; creative, new ideas or solutions; and spiritual, messages from higher sources. And then there is recognizing signs. Key indicators of our download include sudden clarity. If you've downloaded something, you might all of a sudden, something may come sharply into focus in your mind. Creating heightened emotions. You may just feel. So whatever it is you're feeling, and own it. Be totally in it. You may have unexpected creative ideas. You may have physical sensations that mindfulness helps you really allow to move through you and watch. And all of this helps you identify these moments of downloading. And then there is, why is this important? The importance of being prepared, cultivating mindfulness practices, creating sacred space. We're always in our busyness, which I tend to be, I have to confess. But opening up some time for the stillness, right? For the sitting, for the meditation. For me, I use sky breathing after my meditation. Journaling can be helpful. You may have your walking. Some people do meditative walking. So all of this is essential for our spiritual unfolding, evolution, I would say, and integration. So I got an email this week from my friend Ruth Brody Sharon. Do any of you remember her? She is the Jewish woman, Jackie knows her, that has been, she was the one that wrote or created the film God and Allah Need to Talk. She has long been an interfaith wizard. I mean, really, she downloads from Spirit and has for many, many years. And she sent me an article that was written by a journalist that she knows about her. And I want to just read a little bit of it because, sometimes when we use the creative juices, then Spirit works through us, we don't understand it. If you ask Jackie about her banner, she will say, "Oh, I didn't do that." And she didn't. She was a channel. But it's such a strange thing, to trust Spirit to do things through us. And sometime I'm going to have a conversation with Julie over here because she is Miss Creativity all the time. And the music she writes and the art she makes and all of that is, I would love to hear her take on all of that. But this article says, Ruth began taking daily walks on her own. The quiet became meditative, and suddenly she heard a song. What if, when you awoke? She went home and she typed out the words and she recorded the tune that accompanied them. And then she called a friend to share the song. And they asked how she'd written it. And she said, "I don't have the faintest idea. It just came to me." And so the next time she went out on a walk, she got another song until she had a collection of 30 songs, all based around changing the religious landscape of my life, especially in America. That's what she said. So she got started on that, and then she learned that she would have to cut. She decided that this was going to be a musical. She called it initially Interfaith, the musical. But then what do you do with it? Because God is helping you and channeling through you does not mean you don't have to work, right? You still have to work, you still have to listen, because God doesn't do it all for you, but through you. And so she said, she learned that she was going to have to cut out some of her songs and write some new ones. And she said that threw me into a total paralysis because I thought, how can I write them? The game was up. After several months of this, she shared her collection of heaven-sent songs with a friend who told her that she had the makings of a musical there. So she went to a new musicals boot camp. I think it was in Texas, to learn how to turn the material that she had been given and downloaded into a cohesive story. And there she was told that she'd have to go and put all the music away and write a compelling story. So she got started on that, and then she learned she was going to have to cut some of her songs and write more new ones. And again, she just wondered how was it possible for her to do that. Then she realized that if the songs were being given to her, that meant that she had access to the well of creativity, of music, of art. So she sat down to try to write a song of her own. And when she succeeded, she realized that she could do this after all. The experience taught her to stop being afraid of creative incapacity. The well of creative material is always full, she said, but we impose psychological barriers and we close the pump by our fears. So we all have access to that well of creativity, whatever. How do you use creativity in your life? Name some ways.
Cooking, clothing,
Pardon?
to make.
You make clothing, yes.
Cooking.
Cooking, gardening for me. Organization, yes. Some people design and decorate their homes with their creativity. Some people paint. Draw. So are you a drawer? Yeah, cool. Some people make music or poetry. Ruth brought a book by our friend Gustavo Ramirez, a book of poetry that he published a couple of years ago, and he's an amazing poet. So there are just so many ways that creativity, parenting, you know, you've got to, if you're a parent, you've got to be creative or you get in big trouble with your kids, right? So almost everything we do has a need for creativity in it. So you may notice the banners that are around, and they're all so different. Some of them have been painted. Julie is one of the painters and two of them, the light blue ones on this wall, are hers. Jennifer painted the one up here. Is the green one still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another guy, friend of the church, painted this one up here. And then, but the process that we're going to use today is where you use fabric glue and scissors and cut out material and iron on things onto the banner itself. So, like Ruth, Jackie is not sure that she can do art again, even though one year she came up with 3 banners for Christmas. Do you remember that, Jackie?
At that time, they came faster than I.
They came faster, but you had been in the process of making them often. It's been years since we've done
I
this.
know it, that's the trouble.
That's the trouble. But God still guiding, you know? Yes. Is that well of creativity still there?
He says, "Well done, my faithful servant."
Well, yes, well done, my faithful servant. And if you open to it, I am assuring her and everybody that something will come out of this. So, you know, we choose the backgrounds, the colors, the words, the images that we want to work on, and let it unfold, let it become what it needs to be as we are guided. So it's really quite a dive into divine listening and action. So here's some of the banners that we have had done. Jennifer painted the the Native American one that's on there. So you can see some of them have words, some of them just have images. Jackie has one back there with the dove that has no words. And Jackie loves words, but she was guided to do one with.
Tell them how I made my first one that's hanging up
The
there.
first one she made is up here on the wall, and it is her. She wanted a banner for the bookstore, and she wanted me to make it.
Yeah.
And I said, I won't make it, but I will help you make it. And so we came, and she had a lot of help from a lot of people, and that hung in our bookstore for many, many, many years. And once she started, then she began to understand how easy the process is. So, anything else, Jackie?
No, I think that was amazing because I knew you made banners, but I never expected to at that time.
And you could probably not find two people in the world that felt that they were less creative than Jackie and I. We just I had never taken an art class. I never felt, I would do sewing growing
I
up.
grew up coloring in a color book and staying within the lines. And
Yes.
You know.
So you always had a pattern to follow. And this was free.
I know.
No pattern. So what pattern is Spirit going to give you? So let us do a short meditation. And this is a meditation that whether you're going to stay and make a banner or not, I'm going to ask you to open up to Spirit to see what Spirit gives you for a banner. So I invite you to just relax in your chair, to let your breath take you within into that deep space, maybe to your heart. And I invite you to bring to mind a spiritual theme that you might want to work with someday, or that Spirit is trying to teach you in your life right now. It could have to do with the beauty of the seasons, or the impact of a holiday. It could be a saying that you grew up with that influenced you. A scripture that touched your heart. It could be some form of beauty that has blessed your life. Some aspect of nature that draws you. It could be an emotion, a spiritual process, or a teaching. Anything. Just sit for a few moments and see what Spirit brings to you in the form of a theme for a banner for you. Notice if there are background colors. There are images. Words. Other colors mixed in. Notice perspectives, dimensions. Allow your mind to go outside the box of the ordinary, and to do something unusual, extraordinary. Play. Let God do God's work in you and through you. And when you're ready, I invite you to take the piece of paper that you were given and just sketch out a few of the elements that came to you. This is a very rough draft. Maybe note color, note the words, and just sketch out or write what the images you want to be. And as you play with it, notice how you feel. Is it uplifting? We'll take just a few more minutes at this time, but please come back to it. We'll do this again before at the beginning of our class this afternoon, so you can add to it. Someone willing to share their experience?
So I drew a door, a 6-panel door.
You drew a 6-panel door.
And the idea of the 6-panel door, you see the cross.
Oh, you see the cross. Beautiful.
It's something that my sister shared with me, so I'm looping her in.
How, and that's what we share ideas. We get ideas from other people.
Because she's handy at doing things, and she sees the 6-panel door, she's always sees the cross.
Wow. Thank you, Felice, for sharing your idea, your divine idea. That will be
And
awesome.
so I think of the Bible verse, you come to the door and knock,
Come to the door and knock,
and the door shall be open.
and the door will be open.
So,
Yes, yes, with the cross on the 6 panels, the natural cross. Awesome. Mary Ann?
I have this picture, and it's a little kid who's planted a seed, but the seed has sprouted roots, and it sprouted a tree, and then on the tree, the fruit is hanging, and inside one of the fruit is seed. So
Wow.
it went from him planting the seed to the tree to the fruit to a seed.
Okay, the full cycle of life.
Yes.
Right in a seed, by planted to a tree, to a sprouting, to a tree, to a fruit, to a seed.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Okay, yeah, Mary.
What came for me was the cowgirl lassoing the sun. And it's, I am the frequency of the divine.
Ooh, a cowgirl lassoing, saying I am, and I am is our spiritual name, the frequency of the divine. Very cool. Very cool. You see how creative all of this is? Yeah. So we will share more as we go into that class, and you can, feel free to come or feel free to do it on your own or do something with this. Again, I invite you when we go finish this, we'll eat, but we also have all kinds of fabric that we need to bring into the rooms that we're going to be working in. And you can choose, look at pieces, and stay and do that. I just want to end with a quote from Robert Brumman who reminds us, we are not passive observers in the event of our life. We are co-creators. And the time is here to envision and co-create the adventure of evolution. And that's what many of those banners you're talking about are evolving, right? The higher vibration going through the doors. Yes. The seed becoming all we can be. Yes. So thank you. And Julie, do you have a song for us?
I do have something.
Did you happen to have a banner that came to you?
I'm sorry I didn't.
That's okay.
I have
You-
a banner that I have at home that still have You have that.
You were making all the 12 power banners.
Yeah, the 12 powers. And it was the red one, which is red love or life.
Red is life.
Life, yeah, it's life. And, I need
December.
to finish that.
That
Like a
one.
Girl Scout, remember trying to finish what I
I can hardly wait to see it.
Yeah. This is a setting of Psalm 139. It's not my psalm. I don't even actually, it's by Ellie Holcomb is her name. But I love, I always, people make it sound like it's a marvelous thing to be created. You know what? I always just say this. God created us in his image and likeness, and therefore, guess what? We are creative, that you make creative choices every day. And this is how you're created. It's part of the evolutionary process. It's what makes us human. And so there are times when I'm like really fruitful, I know, and it's like, but that's also part of just using that muscle. And you use it, the more you use it, the more it flows from you. So I love all of these lyrics. They're from the Bible. I like what it says here. You created my inmost being, knit together in my mother's womb. So God knows you, created you too, and cares for you, and is watching out for you. So that's what I like about this. This is called Where Can I Go? Psalm 139. Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know where I sit and when I rise. You know when I go out. You know when I live and lie. You're familiar with all of my ways, Lord. Before a
back with us. Thank you. And now let us, let's see, say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all what Spirit has given you. So,